Soundtracks are one of the most important parts of the media we enjoy on a daily basis. They carry the tone, atmosphere, and emotion of a scene. They can tell their own stories and even change your life. Before we can talk about its life-changing aspects, we gotta talk about how it changes the media it's a part of. There's a lot of visual aspects that go into establishing a tone, but in the end, the music is the deciding factor. The soundtrack can determine whether a scene feels energetic, heroic, grand, or tense. Let's look at some action scenes as an example. From the upbeat rock of City Escape to the fun jazz of Cowboy Bebop, to the ethereal sound of Cyberbird from Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. All of these action scenes could easily change in tone if they swapped music. To see this happen in real time, just look at the final boss of Sonic Colors. It plays this dark, intense track as you face one of Eggman's strongest machines. But then you get it to half health and it plays this hopeful, heroic version of Sonic's theme. The only visual change is that the boss looks a little bit more beaten up. The change in tone is purely carried by the soundtrack. You've also probably heard people talk about horror movies only being scary because of the soundtrack, so let's look at the original Halo Combat Evolved as an example. The level 343 Guilty Spark starts us off in this dark swamp, and while there are some creepy visuals to show us that something's not right, but if one of the game's chill stealth tracks played, it would just feel like a regular night stealth mission. But it plays the eerie and unnerving track What Once Was Lost, which really gives the level its creepy and unsettling atmosphere. A sudden lack of music can also convey its own tone, the lack of sound conveying a feeling of speechlessness. Or in Attack on Titan, the lack of music as Armin looks down at what he's done conveys the empty and hollow feeling he has as all we hear is the ambience of the results of his actions. Similarly, the soundtrack often carries the emotion of a scene, giving the scene a joyful or sorrowful feeling. Let's look at Sonic Adventure 2 for an example. Early in the story, we see a flashback to Shadow's last moments with Maria. The shaky first-person view and fear in Shadow's voice would make you think that the scene has a sorrowful or traumatic tone, but instead, the harsh guitars and synths of Shadow's theme throw it all away play, showing us the anger and hatred of the vengeful hedgehog before he even says his iconic line.
For the people of this planet, I promise you. Revenge!
Motifs and theme songs are another very important part of soundtracks. When they play, they instantly bring up everything a character or group stands for. Like when Superman's theme plays, it brings up the hope and justice he embodies. Or when the Imperial March plays, it brings up the inescapable, oppressive power of the Empire. It can also be used for very unique styles of storytelling. The first Halo game opens with these calm yet mysterious strings. Then, if you beat Halo 3 on the hardest difficulty, there's a secret after credits where those same strings return, punctuating the end of the trilogy with the same notes it started on, in a very satisfying full circle moment. Or in Attack on Titan. The motif of XLTT and AOT FS1 is used to convey the terror that the Titans bring with them as they attack. Then, in Season 4, the motif plays as our heroes, the Scouts, lay waste to the city of Liberio, showing that the motif was never for otherworldly man-eating monsters, but instead it was for the horrors of war, as humanity is broken down by the never-ending cycle of hatred and violence. In the broadest terms, a soundtrack can affect your life by lifting up whatever piece of media it's from so that it can affect your life. But it can also have more individually personal effects too. Music in general really means a lot to me, and there's a lot of genres I wouldn't have listened to if it wasn't for Sonic music. And I only know some of my favorite bands because of soundtracks. Like I know Crush 40 because of their iconic Sonic songs, and I know Hardline because they have the same lead singer. Or another one of my favorite bands, Zebrahead, which I only ever heard about because they sung His World in Sonic 06. But for an example that's not Sonic, I only ever heard about this band called Orange because they did the Generator Rex theme song, which I never really watched, so I really know them because that theme song was in the Generator Rex video game on the Wii. Or for what might be my favorite example, I had vaguely heard about Powerman 5000, but I didn't really get into them until I heard their song Almost Dead and Shadow the Hedgehog. So then, because of that, I was watching a bunch of their music videos with a cousin from out of town, and they became one of his favorite bands. So he went home and showed them to his sister, and they became one of her favorite bands. Multiple people only hearing about their favorite band because I liked Shadow the Hedgehog, but soundtracks have shown me more than just other songs. I love the Attack on Titan soundtrack so much that I subscribe to the composers on YouTube, and subscribing is also something that you should do to my channel so that you don't miss any more epic videos. But yeah, it was only because I was subscribed to Hiroyuki Sawano on YouTube that I ever heard about solo leveling or 2B Hero X. And holy crap, 2B Hero X is seriously so peak, I'm definitely gonna make a video on it soon. Soundtracks do a lot for both the media they come from and our lives, so I think they're worth paying attention to. Thanks for watching, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next epic video, and I'll see you all next time.
Do you believe?